Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Cross Studios here, and yes, I'm here with a Lego review. I haven't done one in quite some time, but I thought I'd review this set since it is newer and we recently picked it up. And this is set 75954, Hogwarts Great Hall. 878 pieces, retails for $100, and it includes 10 minifigures. So let's get straight into this set. So with every Lego set, we get one large box right here for this $100 set. And when we go onto the back of it right here, it shows us some of the playability features in the set and all kinds of stuff you can do with your characters in this set. In this set, we get one instruction manual. Of course, to start the set, we're going to start off with Harry Potter right here. And all of the students have the same type of torso with that obvious Hogwarts type of outfit right there. And you can see his face is a smiley face. I like the new wand pieces as well. Very interesting right there. He gets some back printing. And then take off his hair right there. He gets a little scared face since this is the younger version of him. It's kind of interesting how they did the very first movie version or some of the earlier movie versions of these characters. So let's move on to our next character. Our second character is Hermione Granger, of course, and you can see her right there. I like that hair piece. It's definitely more accurate than the old one. If you guys remember the old Hermione, she looked horrible. She was on one of my worst minifigures list. You can see her torso right there is pretty basic, and I like that wand in that kind of tannish brown color. And obviously she does get back printing. You can see that a little better. And like I said, the hair piece is really cool with hair, and she also does get a scared face, which is accurate. So definitely a cool character. So let's keep going. Our next character is Ron Weasley right here, and this definitely looks like Ron, and I like the look of this character. You get the little brown wand with him, and you can see his hair is really cool looking right there. Obviously, he gets the wavy locks, and you can see his back printing right there is pretty basic, and when you take off his hair, you can see he gets a very scared face, probably saw some spiders or something. So let's move on to our next character. Our next character is from the Slytherin house. And this is Malfoy right here, and you can see his torso is a little bit different than the rest of them because it's Slytherin colors. You can see that face right there is kind of like a preppy look face, and he gets that blonde hair right there. And you can see his back printing a little bit better. And when you turn his face around, it's a very angry face, obviously. Very accurate to the movie. So let's move on to our next character. Our next character is Susan Bones, and I'm not really too familiar with this character. I didn't really read the books or anything. I mean, I've seen all the movies. I'm just not too familiar with this one. I'm guessing she was in the movies and stuff, so I'm not really going to question it. She just looks like a basic, Hogwarts student. I'm pretty sure she is Hufflepuff. I do know that, and she gets that rubbery hair, unfortunately. But when you take off that hair, you can see she does get a double-sided head, which is cool. She gets that black wand. So let's move on to our next character. Our next character is Dumbledore, and this is based off of the first actor who ended up dying, I'm pretty sure shortly after the first movie, and they ended up going up with the new actor for Dumbledore. And this is definitely a very cool version of him. He's wearing those red robes right there with the kind of gold color to it. So let's take a look at him without his hair pieces. Here's Dumbledore without his hair pieces right here. You can see his torso printing is very nice looking. I like the look of it. Definitely suited for Dumbledore, and you can see his face right there with the elderly face and the glasses. And turning him around, he also does get a double-sided head, which is a little bit more serious of a look, which he does do in the movies, which is accurate. I also like the back printing as well, so definitely a cool minifigure. Our next character is Professor McGonagall, and she has those dark green robes, which is definitely very cool, and she has that kind of happy face right there. She's a bit more of a serious character throughout the films, and you can see her back printing right there is very cool. I love the look of that kind of blue, interesting blue color with the dark green, just kind of looks really well with her, and I like the look of this character a lot. And you can see her without her hat a little bit better. You can see her eyebrows a little bit better, definitely on fleek with those eyebrows. And then she also does have a double-sided head, which is definitely more accurate, very angry at the students in the first movie. So let's continue. Our next character is Professor Quill, and this guy is really awesome. Obviously, he was in the first film, and he plays a very important role with Voldemort, obviously, in the back of his head, which is crazy looking. And you can see his torso right there is very cool, and I like the face that he gets, just a simple smile with that awesome purple or periwinkle head wrap is really cool. I like that. It's very simple back printing, and obviously when you take off this, you get an awesome back head, which shows the evil Voldemort. And I actually just recently rewatched this scene, and it's definitely accurate to it. So I definitely love this character. Really cool. Arguably, my favorite character in the set is Nearly Headless Nick right here, and he's one of the first ghosts we're known that we are introduced to in the first movie. And you can see his torso and leg printing right there are really cool, kind of like a obviously old-fashioned or Victorian style. You can see his face right there with that mustache is a happy face, and as he greets the students throughout the school, definitely the perfect hair for him. And the back printing is also very cool looking. When you take off that hair, you can see he also has a double-sided head, which is kind of a sad face. And obviously, you take off his head and put it in his hand, like it shows on the box. So let's move on to our next character. Another one of my favorite characters of this set is the redone Hagrid, and I love that they got rid of those stupid hands that they had on the last Hagrid minifigure that they made. It kind of had those grooved hands. I actually have the very old Hagrid as well. That's kind of like the hands that are stuck in a forward position. I definitely think this is a step up from both of those, and it looks really cool. Obviously, his arms are movable, and it's a brand new mold with those arms. Really cool right there, and obviously he has the awesome hairpiece right there, and you can see the back of him right there. Not really anything going on with the back, but he does have those side pocket molds, which is interesting, and that pink umbrella is definitely accurate to the first movie. And when you take off his hairpiece right there, you can see he's got a bit of a smiley face right there, and that's the only expression that he gets. But definitely an awesome minifigure, one of my favorites of the set. Before we move into the main model, we're going to look over some of the small models you get in the set first. You get Ron's mouse in this set, which is really cool, or rat, whatever you want to call it. I love the mold for this. Definitely cool that they're using new molds for these little creatures. Obviously, you get Harry's basic owl mold, and that always looks good as usual to get. I'm glad they included that with the set. Another really cool thing that you get is this little boat right here, which the students take to the school, if you remember in the first film. So staying true to the film is really nice. Unfortunately, we get this kind of snake or basilisk, whatever you want to call it, and this model is just really weak. They didn't cover up any of this. Actually, like, the front's fine. I don't really mind that at all, but just this weird nothing is here. It's just kind of interesting looking. I'm surprised they didn't at least put some of these going all the way across or something. They just kind of left it like studs exposed. So I'm not really sure why they did that. Kind of a weak model in the set. So let's get straight into the main model. So here is the main model of the set. Before we go into the inside of it or anything like that, we're going to take a quick look at the exterior of the building. On this side, you get a ton of windows right here, which is basically the part of the Great Hall where you look out. And you can see they're actually different windows in the movie, but I mean, it's fine for the model. Definitely looks really nice. And the model overall just looks very clear, defined, and it just looks very neat, and I like the look of it. You can see they use these really cool spike pieces on the top, and just absolutely got the look of it. Very well done. And I like these little plant pieces they put on the outside as well. Those are kind of interesting. Then on this side, you get the door that leads into the Great Hall. It's not necessarily accurate. It doesn't just go from outside into the Great Hall, but I mean, it's still very cool. In the last film, it kind of goes into a little entryway and then it goes into the Great Hall, but I'm not really going to complain too much on that. I mean, they can only get so accurate, and it's more of a children's set. You get a very cool little sticker piece up here, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you can see the outside, you get a lot of brick stickers and stuff like that, which some of those were printed because I do like getting printed pieces more than stickers. And then obviously you get this tall tower right here with a very interesting, unique roof design. So I think the outside of this building looks really cool, so let's get straight into the rooms of this building. So we're going to start off with these two floors right here, which is this little doorway on the outside that we saw going into the castle. It's just a small open door. And on these floors, there's not really too much going on. Mostly details and stuff, which I like getting in these models. Just some fun for you to have with characters on different floors. Obviously, you can move these stairs to the side. There's a little broom right there. And back here, there's a little frog right here. I'm guessing that resembles Hufflepuff since it's a yellow color. And then up on this floor, it's kind of like a potions floor. So maybe you can have Professor Snape up there or something like that. Get a lot of crystals and a really cool gunmetal pot kind of thing. And you get these really cool crystals in this lime green color, if I can get them out. They're really cool pieces, though. I use a lot of these in my Land of Warriors board games that I make. In this color, not in this color, but this color of them is just really, really cool. So let's move on to the next floor. The next two floors are definitely more cool than the first two, in my opinion. Not based on the actual floor design, but just what's contained in them. In this floor, you get a really cool looking spider mold, and then you also get the sorting hat, which is a very cool thing, especially in the first movie. So you can use this for choosing Harry to go to Gryffindor, which is really cool. Obviously, you can put it on a minifigure's head if you want to. And moving up to this floor, this kind of shows when Harry was seeing his parents through the mirror in the very high levels of the castle, if you guys remember. And they didn't really make a floor. I wish they would have maybe put an outward expansion of a floor right here, so you could better access that instead of putting them on these two studs right here. But I mean, it's not too big of a deal. It's just that's just something I would have done. And I also don't like the amount of stickers that they used on here. All of these are stickers, which is really annoying. But you can lift this up and it reveals the Phoenix right there, which is really cool. And another really cool thing is that you can turn this around and it reveals Dumbledore right there. And I just really love the look of this feature. I like the feature definitely that you can switch it around and move it around. I just wish they would have made a little more accessibility and put like maybe a little rounded floor right here, just so you could put some characters up here. Another quick thing about this floor is that you also do get another panel that includes a knight right here holding kind of like a cup of some sort, and then you also get Quirrell right here holding obviously the stone right there, which he desperately wants in the movie, or Voldemort wants. So let's move into our next area. Moving into the Great Hall, I like how they made this a very big room, and actually this whole set is just based off of this Great Hall area. So I like how they took instead of just trying to make one large set, they kind of broke this up into sections so you can make a very, very large Hogwarts castle, which I really like. When I first saw the preliminary pictures, I didn't realize that I thought this was going to be the whole Hogwarts castle, and I was very like, what is this going to be? So let's move actually straight into the hall. Obviously you get some chicken, you get a fireplace over there, and you get a lot of small accessories all over the tables, and you can take your minifigures and set them down as well. And obviously this is Dumbledore's seat right here, and he can sit right there. And then these are the windows I was talking about earlier that lead right outside to this side area. And these little holes right here for when you connect different parts of Hogwarts to it eventually, if you get those parts of the set. Another really cool thing are the candle pieces. New fire pieces and candlesticks kind of pieces right here are really cool. Love the look of those. Obviously accurate to the movie because there are floating candles. A few other details, there's some brooms kind of laying around the room, but mostly it's just kind of a free-for-all room that you can play with. And basically the playability feature in this room, I guess, is you get the banners right here of the different houses. Obviously this is Gryffindor. When you turn this around, you can see you get another one on the back. You get Slytherin right here. Turn this around, you get Ravenclaw, and then Hufflepuff over here. So I think that was a really cool, nice little added feature. It would have been interesting to have all of them there, but I don't remember if they had all 4 of them hanging in the movie, but it definitely is cool that they at least added that little feature in. Before I move into the wrap-up, there is a small little clock detail up here above the front gate, and obviously you can open the gate by pushing it back through here. There's no door handles on the front, which is kind of interesting, but I mean that's not really too big of a deal. You can just push it from the back, and you also do get this clock detail, like I said. So, very cool model right here, and let's move into our rating. Alright guys, now onto the rating on this set. You get a lot of nice characters in this set. There are a few small underwhelming things about the set. They're not really too big of a deal. Overall, I think the set is really good and definitely a fun set to play with overall. Nothing really wowed me too much about the set. Just having this set to add to Hogwarts is a really good thing. And like I said, you get a lot of key characters from the movies and stuff like that to add to your collection. A few things I didn't really like about the set is the top floor where the mirror is. I wish they would have made that at least like have a floor, because there's really no space there to put a minifigure. You can put Harry Potter on 2 studs basically for him to stand there. And another thing I didn't like is the basilisk as well. And I wish they would have maybe used different windows on the end of the Great Hall, possibly, instead of just using the same ones they used on the side. Maybe use some glass ones would have been kind of interesting, but overall, it's not really too big of a deal. It's a really good set overall. I definitely recommend you buy it. I'm going to give this set a 9.5 out of 10. Highly recommend it. Very good set. And overall, it's just a nice one to add to your collection if you're collecting the new Harry Potter sets and you never got the old ones. So, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.